Welcome back to The Will of the Hunted. This week's guest is a talented artisan, Ren Fair aficionado, and a good friend of the show. She recently sent us a mystery box of her creations, many of which you can see behind me here today. And now we officially get to hear from her. Please welcome my friend Cass. This podcast is for support and commentary only, not professional advice. I am not a licensed clinician. This podcast might be triggering to some listeners as we have honest discussions about trauma, but we have lighter conversations about mental health and identity as well. And if you need help, go to thewillofthehunted.com/resources. And remember, you are not alone.
Hi.
Hi, Cass.
Thanks for having me, AJ.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
I just want to start by getting to know you a little bit better. So how would you describe yourself?
Oh, chaos.
Chaos.
Oh, no. I'm a parent. I'm so tired. There we go. That's the word. Oh, no. Creative, nature lover, parent.
Yeah. Are you from Montana originally? Or did you just relocate there?
Born and raised Montana.
Okay. Oh, all right. How did you choose the name The Astral Artificery?
Okay, so this was probably like the hardest part of setting up my business was trying to figure out a name. So I went into the business, thinking, I want to make super cool magical item things. This is coming off the tailcoats of one of my D&D campaigns that I was recently playing, and
Yeah.
my character was an artificer, and I just, making magical items. I'm like, you know what? Hey, I used to make things, like armor and pouches and stuff. Why not do it again, but make it all, tabletop RPG, D&D style stuff. So I went with the artificer because artificers are cool. Um,
Yeah.
I went with Astral because I changed my name to Cassiopeia after the constellation.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's great. And the alliteration,
Yes. The Astral Artificery. I love it. How did you get into the leatherworking woodcutting trade?
So I actually got into the leatherworking as sort of a side because I was running a forge before.
Oh.
So metalwork and all that, and making knives and things like that. Peak Forged in Fire era uh, crafting,
Super cool.
and yeah. So I was making things like knife sheaths and things like that. And I was like, hey, wait a minute, why not make armor? And so I took a few leatherworking courses and got into that. And then the wood cutting just kind of, I've always done a handful of things off and on over the years, but once I got the lasers to help me cut out my armor and other, pouches and things like that, I was like, I've got the lasers, I might as well do wood stuff too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Was that something you've always been interested in, from being a kid, or is it something you kind of discovered, becoming an adult?
Which part?
Just your interest in creating things and also
Oh, yeah.
magic items.
Uh, well, okay. So magic items that came about, once I started playing D&D and really got into the RPG scenes with video
Yeah.
games and things like that. But I've always been a crafty person. I was taught to sew at a young age, and
Cool.
I enjoy making things.
Yeah. That's super cool. So you eventually turned what you said was a side hustle into an actual business. What was that process like?
Well, I can't really say for certain that I've done it right. And once I had enough stock built up, I started sending out the wave of applications to be a vendor around. So just don't think about it, just do it.
Right. Yeah. And you're a vendor at a lot of Renaissance fairs, right?
So far.
Is that your primary place to sell your work?
Yeah, so far, I mean, really all the in-person events is where I do the majority of my selling. Um, the rent fairs are usually my biggest sellers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what my items are, right? So, but I do smaller things, like our local farmers market.
Cool.
This last weekend here, I had gaming cosplay convention that I did. So yeah, the in-person
Cool.
events are where I make the money. I do make some, I do make sales online through the Etsy and things like that.
Right. Okay. What's your most popular item that you sell at in-person events? Is it the armor or is it like smaller like woodcrafted things?
So that's actually a really tricky question. Because I was talking with one of the other vendors at that cosplay convention the other day,
Yeah.
and they asked me, what sells the best for you, and so I keep track of all my sales. I write it down. I don't have anything entered into any POS or
Yeah.
anything like that. But I write it down to keep track of what's selling, so I know what I need to make more of. And there's really nothing, not no big like consistent sellers.
Yeah.
um, those journals, like the one I sent you, they sell all right depending on the market. Um, so yeah, those journals, the lanterns, those sell better at the smaller events like the farmers markets. The van braces,
Is that this?
bracelets. No, so that one's a bracelet. Um,
Okay.
the van braces are like the metal scale ones that I sent you.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, so things like that, those sell better at the bigger Ren Fair events, along with the pouches and things like that. I'd say those are about even for the Ren Fair events.
That's so cool.
And
And
then the bigger sets are, I don't generally expect those to sell at the events. They're more of a showpiece, come into my stall type of
yeah,
item.
what is the price range for these amazing handcrafted goods?
So the bracelets are about $15 to $20. Same with the lanterns and books are 20, 30, somewhere in there. The van braces, I've got some just basic, simple ones up right now, up to those ones that you're wearing. It ranges from about 40 to 110.
Wow.
And then you get into my bigger armor sets, usually about 1,500 to 2,000. So
Gotcha.
my pricing's all over the place, but I've got something for everybody. So
And are the armor out uniforms, outfits, like the armor sets?
just armor sets is what I call them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are those mostly commission?
generally yes. So I did do a Ren Fair at the middle of September, um, where two of the armors that I brought with me actually sold and
Whoa.
left the booth. But yeah, I was so excited. But in general, the bigger sets, I try to do those as commission because if people are spending that much money, I want to make sure that it fits them.
Right.
Um, not just I try not to have just a general size for the armor. I mean, if it fits people, great. Obviously, great. Take it. Be happy with it. But I do generally like to do the bigger stuff by commission so that it's built to the person.
Right. Yes. And if they're spending like that much money on it, like might as well personalize it.
Right.
Yeah. What's your favorite piece or favorite type of magic item that you sell?
It's probably got the bigger armor sets. My personal favorite, and I'm a little bit biased because I did the design work, was the Celestia, which is all over my socials. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, so that was probably my favorite. I've had a commission for that armor set with different art on it. Um, it's one of the ones that sold. I do have another second bigger armor set that's hasn't hasn't seen much action yet, but
Do you paint the leather like for the like because I saw like a blue armor set I think on your socials.
yep. So that was the one I was just talking about.
Okay.
I use leather stains for the base stuff.
Ooh.
If I'm putting artwork on it, like if I've lasered it or hand tooled art, then I'll usually use like a silver or gold like gilding paint.
Hmm.
Or I guess depending on what customers want. But yeah, so I'll stain the leather to get the base colors, and then I'll paint over it.
Could you talk about the process and the timeline of creating an armor set?
So yeah, um, if I'm making a piece, just as a here's one of my sets. I'll scour the internet for reference imagery like most artists do.
Right.
So yeah, and then I'll write sketch it down, and then you were actually on my live what is it, a month or two ago, where
Yeah.
I actually put the art on a duct tape, surrounding to make a pattern for that armor. And so from the design work to putting that design on the mannequin to make the pattern, that's usually about 20-30 hours.
Wow.
um yeah. That's the biggest time sink, and then putting it all together, cutting the leather out, especially if I'm using my laser, that cuts the time way down. But usually for the first sets, I like to cut everything out by hand to make sure it's all going to fit right.
Yeah.
I can make adjustments, and then I can make adjustments to the pattern in the computer after. But assembly generally 15 to 20 hours. That includes cutting it out, staining it, riveting or stitching it all together. Um,
And you hand stitch everything, right?
yes, I do.
Do
I
you?
do have I do have a hand crank leather, like it's actually supposed to be a cobbling machine, which is shoes. But I do
Oh,
have I haven't really used it for anything yet. It's just, I've been hand stitching for so long. It's just easier to just whip it out.
so where do your inspiration, like, what are your biggest inspirations for your work? Is it like Lord of the Rings, or is it D&D, or is it like video games?
It's kind of really all of the above.
Yeah.
I'll try to pick a theme when I'm starting to design something. So like with the Celestia, I was like, you know what, let's go just hardcore astral, right?
Hmm.
So there's the moon on there, swoopy curves. The whole thought process behind the majority of the design and the artwork itself was Northern Lights.
Hmm.
Nice swoopy curves and things like that.
Yeah.
An unnecessary amount of rivets.
They're so fun. Yeah. More
Um,
shiny.
but I mean, everything else, everybody loves dragons, so gotta incorporate dragon scale things. And
Yeah.
that blue one that we were just talking about a little bit ago, I have heard from so many people that it reminds them of the Water Zora from Zelda.
Oh, yeah.
And that is completely unintentional for anybody who's looked at it, completely unintentional. But I definitely thought the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the fantasy games, the D&D, other tabletop RPGs. I'll dig through my D&D books and be like, oh, that art looks great. Let's see how I can try to make that a real thing.
And like you mentioned, you have started kind of documenting your creation process online. You did a live stream like a few weeks ago, a couple months ago, and I watched you do like the sketch and then the mannequin and everything. But you've also started doing a series on your TikTok and Instagram as well. How has that process been, creating that series, and what's the reaction that you've gotten from the, oh God, what do you call your fans? Is it the guild? No, adventurers.
Yeah, yeah. Adventurers. Yeah, that's I.
Yes. Okay.
I
Okay.
usually lead with adventurers or travelers, or try to keep that fantasy, quest giver type
Yes.
uh thing when I address people. Yeah, so that leatherworking series, I haven't gotten much response with it yet. I suspect I'll probably get more once I start getting into the more nitty gritty stuff, that actual how to use the things, how to design things.
Yeah.
But I definitely felt it was important, at least with this first section, to be all like, here's the tools of the trade.
Yeah.
Um, you don't need 50 million things. I literally use 6 tools, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Even though I have hundreds.
Your workshop is really impressive.
Oh yeah, you should see my garage. I've got it blurred because it's a mess.
It's so cool because like I think I've mentioned that I have like a sewing background for fashion design, so seeing a lot of like very similar tools for leatherworking, it's just kind of like seeing the parallels, and that's why I really love your series, is because I'm just so curious about how you make like the armor and everything.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
I gotta I've got a Ren Fair next week, and then I should be getting back into making those videos.
Awesome. How much are you doing, like one a week?
They've been pretty close to every other week. Here October, and then this one here November. It's been a couple weeks in between them, but I mean it is kind of slow season for Ren Fair events and things like that.
Yeah.
But they're August through early October. It was about every other week.
Right. Yeah, because it was like almost every weekend. You were sending me pictures from an event.
Yeah, which is great. It's not a whole lot of time to restock, so I'm not one of those crafters that makes a whole stock of things at once and then sell it all and then restock over the winter. I like to keep my inventory small. It's easier to move around.
Right.
uh, but a lot of the orders I get are, I would like this piece right here that you have, but in a different color.
Mm.
And so I try not to have a whole, I'm trying not to branch out of my 10 by 10 canopy. So
Right. Yeah. So I have not been to a Ren Fair before. Could you walk me through what I could expect if I went there?
good food, lots of drunk people. Uh, no, so really depends on the fair that you're at. Some of them really like they're like to stick very close or as close as they can to historical accuracy.
Hmm.
I personally prefer the ones that more lean more towards just the general medieval fantasy vibe. I like seeing the mushroom people and the fairies, and
The
I love
LARPing?
seeing. Yes, LARPing beats historical accuracy any day of the week. So at most events, you can expect to see that people in fantastic costumes. Most people are generally just super happy, super welcoming, just generally happy to be there, and
Yeah.
it's. I'm sure. Well, I'm sure every event's got its hecklers and its trouble, but yeah, a lot of happy people. Mead, if you're into that.
Yeah.
A lot of events, you'll see a lot of people like me with this stuff that they've made they're trying to sell. I mean, you get your drop shippers too, but
Yeah.
they're always good people. We'll just go with that.
Yeah.
No shame, just
Drop
yeah.
shippers.
Yeah, you get them, but it's a lot of handcrafted goods, and I don't know, everybody's just there to have a good time, and that's really what you could expect.
Do they do like live forging there? Like demonstrations?
It depends. It depends on the one, but yes. So a lot of the ones I go to, we've got a couple guys that do, or that like run their forges from their canopies. Um, People that do demos. So I'll probably Montana's biggest Red Fair is in Red Lodge. Usually early June. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to actually have my booth be a demo booth for that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll bring a bunch of steel and leather and just make armor while I'm there. And
That's so
yeah, no,
cool.
demonstration booths are all over the place. Performers are always great. You get all kinds of different shows. Singers, just musicians in general, comedians,
Hmm.
all kinds of people, all kinds of demonstrations.
It seems really, really fun. I really want to go to one someday.
You need to.
Okay.
And if I have to drag you both along with me to one, like we'll make it happen.
Mike, have you been to a Ren Fair?
It's been a while.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm the only uncultured one. So you've also talked about online about your transition, and how long have you been transitioning now? Has it been like almost a year?
I am tomorrow is 9 months.
9 months. Wow.
Well, 9 months medically transitioning.
Yes.
Um, I came out mid-January of this year.
Wow. It's coming up on a year, yeah.
Yeah, right quick.
How is the Ren Fair and the crafting community been with your transition, and has it impacted your transition in any way?
I don't know how if I could say that it's like impacted at all, but It has honestly been the most welcoming community that I've ever encountered. Like going into this, obviously I live in Montana. We're a fairly red state, but we're also fairly purple as it is too.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody at these events, they've just been fantastic. Yeah, it's super welcoming. The whole Ren Fair thing is you really just be you. So
Yeah.
it's nice. I definitely see a lot of other trans individuals at these events, and just I've never seen. I mean, I won't say it never happens, right? Because things happen, but I haven't seen anybody really get heckled for anything. The way everybody dresses up. It's
Yeah.
it's you're expected to dress up anyway, so you might as well dress up and be you.
Yeah.
Again, just everybody's been great.
That's awesome. I'm so glad.
I was a little bit worried, going into it. I was like, ooh, let's hopefully here, but um, yeah.
And you go all out when you go to the Ren fairs. Like you do like
Oh yeah.
the jewelry, like the flowy dress, like you yeah, you do like full looks.
Yeah. To be fair, I dress like that every day because why not?
Yeah.
We've got all the things. I might as well wear it, right? More
Right.
than just a couple times a year. So
Do,
today's little sweatery thing is a little low key for me, but
do you ever wear your own armor, or have you made yourself like your own custom armor?
I know I really should. Um, but I like having the armor out there to sell, really. I've made
Yeah.
my wife a set. She wears it at the events. I
Do
might
you
I was gonna make myself a set for the Halloween one that I did, but I didn't. I ran out of time. So
Gotcha. Do your kids go to the Ren fairs too?
yes, most of them. They're
Yeah.
not gonna kind of no. I'm just gonna be going by myself to this next one because it's in Utah.
Wow.
It's yeah. We try to bring them with. They have a blast. It's great.
Do they like dressing up too?
Oh yeah, they love
Yeah.
it.
Do they wear your creations?
Sometimes right now they just kind of got their own little costumey things. Some clothes that between my wife and I we've sewn together for them.
That's so cool. How old are they?
So I've got two twins that are gonna be 10 here in a month, and then another little one that's 7.
Do they have any interest in the fine arts? Or like
Oh yeah.
are they gonna be your apprentices?
We'll see. We'll see. My oldest daughter is definitely very artsy. The other two are it comes and goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all love making things. So
So when you are selling your work during like the off seasons of Ren fairs, are you doing it like through Etsy and you said you might be working on a website?
right, yes. So right now, I sell primarily through Etsy. Planning on, once all the in-person stuff slows down a little bit over the winter here, I'm planning on setting up a website so that I can just have everything, in one spot, and then I can avoid Etsy's absurd fees.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, I really do like Etsy despite the fees. I get, commission requests and things like that through Facebook and Instagram, a couple through TikTok, and I always send them through Etsy. I tell them I'm happy to make, custom listing orders for them and stuff like that. But Etsy, it gives me peace of mind that I'm not going to get scammed. So I try not to do like private sales through like Messenger and stuff like that, just to protect both parties, really.
Mm. Yeah, that's really cool. And it's is everything under like the Astral Artificery on Etsy?
Yep.
And I'll put that on screen here. Yeah, no, I super super appreciate just your friendship, and I think because I remember we met this summer. I think you commented on one of my videos on TikTok, and then I checked out your page and saw all of your work, and I was just like really blown away. And then I'm really glad that we got to become friends.
Me too.
You're such a cool person, and I super super appreciate all of your support. And when you sent us that whole mystery box full of like some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen. Like, I really, really appreciate it. Like, we have the lantern behind me. I have the bracelet. I have this thing. I have your letter right here. I have the journal. Like, it all, like, really meant a lot to me. And you also, like, have been supporting this podcast before it even came out. Like, you you listened to, I think, the uncensored version of the first episode.
Yep.
And gave me feedback.
The whole 2 hour uncut.
I'm so sorry, but thank you so much.
Oh no. No need to apologize.
What are your goals in the future for your craft? Is there anything you haven't done yet that you want to learn how to do?
I don't know about learn how to do. I definitely am looking to get more back into, sorry, words are hard. Um, Metal armor. That's definitely one that's I really want to get into. I just, metal armor is super cool. And being able to try to take nice, cool fantasy designs and make them realistic is hard, for one.
Right.
There's a lot of fantasy designs have very, pointy, swoopy things, and it's hard to do that with metal. Yeah, so I really want to get into that. Something we haven't talked about yet is that I am working on building, and I don't know if I've actually told you. I am working on building my own like tabletop game system.
Oh, really?
And yes, it's fabulous. If you want to play test it, if tabletop gaming is your thing, I'll send you the stuff. I'm also building a world to go along with that, and so all of my items I'm trying to tie into the lore of that world.
Oh, okay. I think I saw you post like a map or something online and like kind of briefly tease it.
Yeah. So that's the plan.
Cool.
It's a D20 based system. It's heavily inspired, by D&D and Pathfinder. But little spoiler, I guess, is it's the idea behind it all is really true character customization. Think typical like MMORPG type skill building.
Yeah.
Use the skill to make it better versus typical XP based. And then the magic is more, Avatar, Korra type.
Really? Ooh.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't posted much about the game system yet because I think I've finally got like the good base rules down. I really need to find a writer is what I need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, keep me posted because I love playing Magic the Gathering and I've dabbled in D&D, but I love like tabletop RPG and that would be so fun. Would you have any advice for young, especially like young queer people who might be trying to get into like the trade and learn the skills? Besides your videos, where else could people go to learn like leatherworking and like woodcrafting?
I mean, honestly, YouTube.
YouTube.
It's such a vast wealth of information. If you're not doom scrolling through, all the brain rot.
Right.
Really, honestly, the biggest piece of advice I can give people is just do it. Pick up a knife, pick up a, slab of leather. You can get them cheap.
Yeah.
Or even just use foam. Like everything that I'm going to be teaching in my tutorials can be done with foam super easy. And that's how I got started was cosplay. So
yes,
just do it. Don't be afraid to fail. You're gonna fail. Just do it anyway.
And just have fun with it.
Yes. That's the other thing. Have fun with it.
Where can everyone follow you? Is it at the Astral Artificery on all socials and Etsy?
Okay, so I believe just type in the name if you can't, if the @ tag doesn't work, but they'll all have my logo.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all the Astral Artificery. TikTok is actually at crowbar CR0B4R, just because I use it for personal things too, along with my business.
Yeah.
That's what everybody knows me as. Everybody knows me as Crowbar, so it's been my handle forever.
Gotcha. Okay. You said you want to do more with the online series soon.
Gonna be doing that. I do have a YouTube page that's fledgling and only has one video right now. I will be getting the full less than one video posted up on there here as soon as I get some more time.
Okay. I'm so excited to continue seeing what you make and to support you and whatever you make. I want to share. So thank you so much for coming on today, and I love you so much, and thank you for being a great friend to me as well.
Love you too.
Thank you again to our guest, Cass. And if you need help, make sure you go to thewillofthehunted.com/resources. And just remember that you are not alone. And we will see you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Bye.
Right.
You are not alone. And if you need help, go to thewillofthehunted.com/resources.